Quick note before we begin. This video is for general education only. It is not personalized financial advice, so always make the money decisions that fit your own situation. $1,000 in savings doesn't change your net worth in any way that matters on paper, but it completely changes your Tuesday. There are 8 savings levels between $0 and $100,000, and at every single one, something specific happens to your stress, your options, your relationships, even how you talk to your boss. Most people never get shown this map, so today I'm walking you through every level, what life actually feels like there, the trap that keeps people stuck at it, and the one move that unlocks the next one. Find your level, and I'll show you the door. Here's the thing about savings that the finance industry gets backwards. They talk about money like it's a number on a chart, when for most of us it's really a feeling in your chest at 2 in the morning. So this video isn't about compound interest graphs, it's about what actually changes at each level, and the levels are not evenly spaced. Going from $0 to $1,000 will change your daily life more than going from $50,000 to $60,000. That's not motivational talk. Researchers consistently find that financial stress drops fastest with the first small cushion, because the first cushion is the difference between a problem and an emergency. Quick honesty before we climb. These levels assume the money is in savings you can actually reach, not locked in retirement accounts, which are a separate and wonderful thing, and your numbers may shift with your city and your situation. A family in San Francisco and a single guy in Tulsa live on different maps. That's fine, the levels still come in the same order. Let's start at the bottom, because I've been there, and I remember exactly what it feels like. Level 0. $0 save, or close enough that it rounds there. First, no shame. Surveys keep finding that a majority of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency from savings. So if this is you, you are not broken, you're the statistical middle. But let's be honest about what life at level 0 costs, because it's expensive in ways that never show up on a receipt. At 0, every surprise is a crisis. A flat tire isn't a flat tire. It's a credit card balance that's still there in August. A dental bill negotiates against your rent. You say yes to overtime you hate and no to opportunities that cost anything up front. And the cruelest part, level 0 has a tax. Late fees, overdraft fees, minimum payment interest, buying the cheap boots twice. Being broke is expensive, and that's exactly why the first level up matters more than any other level on this map. The move that unlocks level 1, make the savings account exist today. Separate bank, no debit card attached, and automate one small transfer on payday. $25 counts. The amount isn't the point. The direction is. $500 saved. On paper, nothing. In your nervous system, everything starts here. $500 covers the single most common tier of emergencies. The copay, the brake pads, the vet visit, the last-minute flight home. Which means for the first time, a whole category of bad days stops touching your credit card. People at this level describe the same specific thing. They stop flinching when the phone rings. That's not a money change, that's a body change. The trap at level 1 is celebration spending. You've never had cushion before, and the cushion starts whispering that it's really a vacation fund. It's not, it's the moat. The other trap is stopping here, because 500 feels infinitely better than 0, and it's easy to mistake relief for arrival. The unlock to level 2 is boring and beautiful. Keep the exact same automatic transfer running and add every windfall, tax refund, birthday cash, the side gig weekend, straight to the pile before it evaporates. At this level, windfalls are rocket fuel. Your one good tax season from the next door. $1,000. This is the most famous number in beginner personal finance, and it earns the reputation. At 1,000, the entire bottom tier of financial emergencies, the stuff that wrecks most paychecks, just becomes logistics. Car battery? Annoying. Cracked phone screen? Annoying. Kid needs his school trip paid this week? Annoying. Notice the pattern? Annoying. Not devastating. And something subtle happens to your decision-making here. You stop making panic choices. You can take the car to a mechanic you trust instead of the closest one. You can buy the 12-pack of paper towels that's cheaper per roll. Poverty math. Paying more because you can't pay at once starts to reverse. The trap at level 2 is the upgrade itch. $1,000 is the most money some of us had ever seen in one place, and suddenly the couch looks shabby and the car sounds funny. Hold the line. This money's job is boring. The unlock to the next level is to name your next target out loud. 1 full month of bare bones expenses, and point your automation at it. Levels 0 to 2 were about survival. Level 3 is where options begin. $5,000. Somewhere between $1,000 and here, the money stops being an emergency fund and starts being breathing room. And breathing room changes behavior in ways that compound. At $5,000, you can cover most single big emergencies whole. The transmission, the emergency room deductible, the moving deposit when the landlord sells the building. One problem, fully absorbed, no debt. But the bigger shift is quieter. 5,000 is the first level where you can afford to be a little bit brave. You can leave the job interview without sweating, because a 2-week gap between jobs wouldn't sink you. You can book the flight for the funeral without doing math in the airport. You can say no to things, and no is one of the most expensive words in the world when you're broke. The trap here is lifestyle leak. 5 grand sitting in the account starts to feel like proof you can afford a nicer everything, and 100 small upgrades can quietly eat a level. Guard it with separation. Different bank, different name on the account. I literally call mine do not touch. The unlock to 10, automate a raise. Every time your income goes up, half the raise goes to the transfer before you ever taste it. $10,000. If you watched my first 10K video, you know I think this is the most important level on the whole map. Not because of what the money does, but because of what it proves. Nobody accidentally saves $10,000. By the time you're here, you have already become a different person. Someone with a system, someone whose payday has a script, someone who's survived at least one strong temptation to torch the pile. That identity is worth more than the balance, because identity is the thing that never gets spent. Practically, 10K means a full quarter of bare-bones runway for a lot of households. It means a layoff is a project, not a catastrophe. It means you shop for insurance with higher deductibles and lower premiums because you can self-insure the small stuff. And just like that, being safer got cheaper again. The trap at this level is drift. With the fear gone, saving loses its urgency, and plenty of people plateau here for years. The unlock to 25 is to give the next dollars a mission beyond safety. A named goal with a date. Safety money defends your life. Mission money starts designing it. $25,000. This is the level where money stops being about what can't hurt you and starts being about what you can choose. 25K is 6 months of runway for a lot of single income lives, and even 3 to 4 for a family. Which means the biggest levers of your life quietly unlock. You can move cities for a better market without a job lined up first. You can leave the industry that's grinding you down and afford the retraining gap. You can start the small business with a real cushion under the lunch. You can leave a bad relationship without the money mat holding the door shut. And I want to say that one plainly, because financial safety is exit safety, and that's one of the most underrated reasons to build this pile. People at this level report something new. Patience. You negotiate differently when you can afford to walk. You interview differently. You even rest differently. The trap, 25K attracts advice. Everyone has a hot investment, a friend's startup, a can't miss thing. The runway itself stays boring and liquid. That's non-negotiable. The unlock to 50 is simply time plus rate. This is where consistent percentage of income saving quietly outruns every trick. $50,000. Somewhere around here, a strange thing happens. The money starts pulling its own weight. Park 50K in a high-yield savings account at recent rates and it can throw off a couple $1,000s a year in interest. That's a month of groceries and utilities for a lot of families. Earn while you sleep, without touching the pile. For the first time, you can feel what wealthy people mean when they say money makes money. It's also usually the level where the pile visibly splits into jobs. The emergency runway stays liquid and boring, while the surplus above it starts looking toward longer-term goals. And yes, that's the point where investing conversations begin, which is exactly where I remind you I'm a guy on YouTube, not your advisor. What to invest in, when, and whether, that's a your situation question for your own research and a qualified professional. What I can tell you is what the level feels like. Math replaces fear as the main driver of decisions. The trap is impatience. 50K grows slowly in percentage terms and some people blow up the pile chasing speed. The unlock to 100 is almost insulting. Keep going. The system that built 50 builds 100. It just needs time. You've already proven you have. $100,000. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's partner, and a man not famous for gentle words, put it this way: the first 100,000 is a real bear, but you have to do it. Because after that, the machine works differently. Here's why he was right. At 100K, compounding becomes visible to the naked eye. Growth that would have taken you a year of saving at level 2 can now show up from returns alone in a good year. Your money's earning power starts competing with your own raises. And psychologically, you cross the strangest line of all. The money stops feeling like a pile of sacrifices and starts feeling like an engine. Life at this level isn't luxury. Plenty of 100K savers drive 10-year-old cars, and honestly that's often how they got here. What it is quiet. Job loss, survivable. Medical surprise, survivable. Roof, transmission, and root canal in the same cursed month. survivable. The bottom 4 levels of problems basically can't reach you anymore. The trap at 100K is coasting into complacency. Inflation never coasts. And the unlocked? That's beyond this map, and it involves those professional conversations I mentioned. But you'll handle it, because of what the climb made you. So, where are you on the map? Because here's the practical truth of everything we just walked through. You can't skip levels, but almost everyone can climb exactly one in the next 12 months. 0 to 500 is 2 automated transfers a month plus 1 sold thing from the garage. 500 to 1,000 is a tax refund with a bodyguard. 1 to 5,000 is a year of the boring transfer plus every windfall captured. 5 to 10 is the same system with a raise pointed at it. Past 10, the ladder gets slower per level but easier per day, because the person climbing has changed. 3 rules that work at every single level. 1. Automate on payday. Decide once, not every month. 2. Separate the pile. Different bank, embarrassing account name, no card. 3. Capture windfalls before they evaporate. Refunds, bonuses, birthday money, all of it, straight up the ladder. And one warning that also works at every level: the trap is always the same shape. It's the voice that says this level is good enough. It's lying at level 0, and it's still lying at 50K. Pick your next level. Give it a date. Start tonight.